take about like 6 months for it, and let's get right into a video pretty much proving my point. But let's go, guys. Let's don't, like I said, don't forget to double tap that screen, like the video, and make sure to follow those links to Kick or Rumble. Because like I said, I've had my last straw with YouTube. I try to be cool with them, but they on BS.
Take a look at this line. It's the average price of gas in the
guys. It's to the point where even when I do get my engagement back, I'm still gonna push people to Kick and Rumble still. Like, I've tried to be cool with YouTube, try to make them my main platform, but they're proving to me and other creators that we can't trust them to do that. Can't.
US. It goes up, goes down. But check this out. When you compare that to the benchmark price of crude oil over time, the lines don't always go up and down at the same time. Sometimes crude oil falls real fast, but gasoline keeps rising. Weird, right? Well, there's this old adage about gas prices. They go up like a rocket, but down like a feather. And right now, they're in the rocket phase big time.
Yep, and that's always been the problem with skyrocketing gas prices, because even back, with Bush, like, yeah, that was the problem. The prices went up way faster than they came back down. And it's kind of crazy how people are literally believing Trump, saying that, oh, as soon as the war is over, it's going to drop off. I'm sorry, but that's not how gas prices work throughout history, my friend. So the fact that some of you guys are eating that up is crazy, because like some of y'all are older than me eating that up. And y'all were grown-ass adults seeing this happening in y'all face, but somehow Trump says differently. You're going to believe it?
Experts are saying the feather might be extra slow. So I wanted to know, why could it take gas prices such a long time to come back down? I'm going to take a little trip with Dave Goldman. He's a senior business reporter here at CNN, knows a lot about the oil industry. We're going to ask some people, try to figure it out.
Right here. Good to see you. Ready to rock? All right, let's do it.
As I'm sure you know, gas prices are the result of a very long supply chain that starts when crude oil is extracted from the ground.
Yeah, right. The first step is obvious. It comes out of the ground. It was dinosaurs and now it's oil. When that gets distilled, that ends up through a pipeline into a storage facility. Then it gets put onto those tanker trucks that you see sometimes at your gas station. They go to your gas station, that ends up in the pumps, and that's how you get from pump to pump.
And when it gets to the gas pump, that's where the retail price you and I pay gets set. So then who sets the prices?
Yeah, it's the gas station owner, ultimately. Gas prices take off like a rocket. They fall down like a feather, and that has everything to do.
I mean, let's be real though. These gas companies and even the gas station owner has every incentive to make it skyrocket high up and making it fall down slow. Like, they have every incentive to do so.
With the razor thin profit that you make at a gas station.
Harry Singh has owned this gas station for almost 12 years. He sets prices every day based on the wholesale prices his supply.
Hey, and shout out to my man. Oh, yeah. Shout out to my man King. And he sent the star for 2 jewels. Then he sent sparkles for 2 jewels. And then he sent a gold coin and then some Chile as well. And shout out to my man User. Sent a sparkle for 2 jewels and a star. So shout out to my man King and User. Appreciate you guys for supporting the stream, man. Y'all would keep it alive, but like I said, make sure you guys go over to Kick if you have it. If not, go over to Rumble. But like I said, guys, I'm going to continuously promote these guys, because at this point, like I said, I can't do it with YouTube no more.
Buyer offers him.
Don't worry, I'll still be streaming on here every day, but I am going to try to bring my audience over to those platforms. So guys, help me out by doing that, by hitting that link and going straight over. And if you can't hit the link on the vertical, go to the horizontal and you'll be able to access it right there.
Cents, yes, sir.
So oil prices go up 5 cents last night. So then what do you do today?
So yesterday was 403, we put 409.
Damn.
And these are the wholesale prices that you have?
But they's pretty much saying like, look, man, if it goes up this price, we got to make some money here. So we're going to charge maybe like 10 cents over. So what they brought it in for, they got to make their profit. They got to charge a bit over, obviously.
That was the market yesterday.
So every day it's going up that much?
Yeah, every day. Today's 392.
So it's 392 today, and then you're selling it at 409.
409, that's like 14 cents.
Right.
To survive, we have to make at least the margin 25 to 30 cents
Okay.
Mm.
Per gallon.
per gallon. And now it's just 15 cents, 14 cents. And before customers come, they said, fill it up. No, they said, give me 20 bucks, give me 30. So the gallon margin went down.
Okay, let's break.
Oof. Yeah, people are less likely to fill up their car and they're trying to, budget out. So that means they're going to go less places, or they're going to buy enough gas maybe to go back and forth to work, and that's it. And if they need to go somewhere else, they'll go ahead and get gas for that. But they're no longer just filling up their tanks and, because they never know if they're going to need the money for something else. That's how bad it's getting out here to that point. And I know what you're saying, like, damn, Said, I don't go through that. Me neither. But I'm seeing people go through it, and I'm hearing about people go through it, and it hurts my heart. But this is actually what's going down in America.
This down. Gas station owners have to balance rising prices with customers' ability to pay. When prices go up too fast, like when there's a big supply shock like we're experiencing now, owners can't raise retail prices in lockstep, otherwise customers will buy less gas. So as wholesale prices are rising, they have to cut into their margins.
So gas prices go up very quickly. You have to kind of go up not as quickly.
No,
So then what happens when gas prices start to go down? Are you going to bring prices?
we're going to bring it down like 3 to 4 cents every day.
Mhm.
We can't just drop it.
But why not?
Well, we have to make some money.
Yo, is every Sudoku really Indian Rand? That actually might be some truth to that. I'll ever go lie to you. There might be some truth to that. Everyone, bro, at least 90%, 90%. I could accept that.
Also, the loss we have. So we have to cover.
I see. And that's sort of why prices stay up for a while. And that kind of explains the up like a rocket, down like a feather.
And if you've noticed, gas is priced similarly at different stations where you live. There's a reason for that.
Not only are you making a decision on how much to price it based on what's happening at your station, but also at the stations around you. Why?
Just let me show you.
Yeah.
This guy on a station on Prospect, so he gave me the price. Look, 409.
Oh, you're just texting him.
He texts me.
Wow. And he's at 409.
I'm weak. Like, bro, not these guys are in the gas station owner group chat is real. They're like, hey, bro, how much you charging today? Yeah, I'm charging this much. Yeah, bro, what about you? How much you charging? I'm charging this much. All right, bro. I'm gonna charge this much then. Or yo, how much you bring your prices down? Nah, I'm probably gonna bring it down like 2 cents. I still gotta recover some money from when it skyrocketed. Yeah, I'll probably bring it down by 3. Like this, wow, they're really having conversations about it, which makes sense. Smart thing to do.
9 and you're at 409. So every morning you have a price.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah. Oh, wow. 279 back in.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago. Are drivers mad when prices go up?
Of course. One customer yesterday, she said, give me a gas for like $3.
Just $3
Bro.
worth of gasoline.
Now I've seen that too, though. You see that a lot when I say when you live in the hood, you literally see people buy like $3 of gas. You're like, damn, bro, just one tank when gas was $3. Or yeah, when gas is like $5 basically, you literally see people be like, damn, dog, I just need to make it to work on the hope and prayer that this $3 will help me get to work. And I'm like, well, yo, is that real? Like people were able to afford a gallon of gas. Now they can only afford a half a gallon of gas. Yeah, that's a problem, guys.
How much longer do you think you can keep this up?
If we stay like that, maybe I have to close the gas station in the next 2 months.
Damn.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
What'd you learn?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that the higher gas prices go, the less margin he has, the less profit that he's able to make.
Yeah, and you think about like up like a rocket, you'd assume that the profits also go up like a rocket, but it's the opposite.
Yeah,
I guess it only worked for the oil executives, like, the big guys out there, but not these gas station owners. Remember, they're just franchise. They're like McDonald's. They bought into the franchise. They get their own little gas station, whoop-de-doo. But apparently higher gas price don't work out the same way it does for the oil executives of these big companies.
The exact opposite. I think that for a lot of folks, they think, well, if gas prices on his end, the wholesale gas prices start to fall, he should start lowering prices so that he can sell more gas. It doesn't work like that.
No, it don't, because he got to try to maintain, like, so pretty much if gas falls at $4, well, because he had to sell it so high last month, and if it let's say it went from $6 to $4 into next month, because he had to sell it so high last month, and that was eating up his profit margin because people were buying less oil because the price went up. Well, now the prices finally fell down. He got to keep prices high to recover what he lost last month. That's what I'm saying. That's why gas prices fall down slow. And you're kind of being foolish if you think it's just going to precipitously drop off just because Trump stopped the war. And I wish it would work like that, but it doesn't. And guys, make sure to like the video.
A really tricky situation, not just for him, but for consumers who are buying the gas.
And remember, gas station owners are the last part of the supply chain.
When you think about why it takes so long for that gas station to lower its prices, it's because of all this traffic that's in front of us. It's a perfect analogy. Before we, the gas station, can lower our prices, all of those cars need to move. So when the light turns green, we won't just start going. First, the first car needs to go. That's the oil market. That's when oil starts to fall. But then the next car needs to go, and that's shipping it off to a refinery and refining it, making it into gasoline. And then the next car needs to go, and that's transporting it to a warehouse where it then goes onto a wholesale market. It takes a long time. So,
So yeah, and here's a problem, guys. We're not going to start seeing that falling down in price from the oil market because, well, let me tell you where we're at right now in the oil market because it's going to hurt your feelings a little bit. But, excuse me, we're over, well, yeah, we're at 110 for a barrel of oil, Brent crude. WTI, $106. And that is like, bro, it being at 90 is high. Over 100 is terrible. This is why gas prices have not fell down yet, because I'm gonna be real with you, for gas prices to fall, we need it to be we need this 110 to go to, like, I don't know, 55. That'd be great, like half it is. So that'd be great. But if we don't get it to there, that 50, 60 range, or even the 60, 70 range, gas prices will not fall at all. But let's get right back to it.
needs to go. That's the oil market. That's when oil starts to fall. But then the next car needs to go, and that's shipping it off to a refinery and refining it, making it into gasoline. And then the next car needs to go, and that's transporting it to a warehouse where it then goes onto a wholesale market. It takes a long time. So, that light might turn green. People might be honking behind us because they want that price to start falling, but we can't go until the whole thing clears out.
Yeah, you can see the crude oil price go down, so you expect, hey, when is the gas?
It's going to be the next sad thing where they're going to start telling us that macroeconomics is un-American. Bro, get ready for it. Get ready. Get ready for when they hit you with that, okay, guys? They're going to start saying that economics is now un-American. Your understanding of the economics of the oil market is un-American, bro.
Gas price going to go down, but it's like all these cars. They have to move out of our way first.
Exactly. Come on, let's go. Here it's green. Finally.
And everyone's going to be waiting for the price of crude oil to fall. But we got to remember, the war in Iran is causing the biggest oil supply shock the world's ever experienced, according to the International Energy Agency. So getting crude prices down is a totally different kind of waiting game.
So David, as I understand it, this is like a pretty significant place when it comes to determining what gasoline and crude oil costs.
Yeah, we're in front of the New York Mercantile Exchange, owned by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's where all of the oil futures trade. Oil futures are kind of a funny thing, right? Because you're buying a contract for a future delivery of oil. And so you're kind of placing a bet on what I want to pay, what oil will be worth at the end of any particular month. And you can kind of see the trajectory of where those oil prices are going to go based on those future contracts. And right now, if you look 5 years out, we're still not down to the $60 that we had before the war.
Yep.
So that's the oil market.
Yeah, and see the problem there is, like, bro, before the war, guys, we was at like $67 per barrel. Now we're over 100. So let's go back to him explaining that again, because this is crucial for people to understand.
Those oil prices are going to go based on those future contracts. And right now, if you look 5 years out, we're still not down to the $60 that we had before the war. So that's the oil market telling you that we might not go back to normal until the 2030s.
Hey,
and
hold
so
the fuck on. Wait, hold on now. That's concerning. Ouch. All right, hold on, guys. I knew it was going to take a while, but I think it was going to take damn near 10 years. Whoa. if this is the case, then yeah, Donald Trump done cooked himself. Like, it would take a dramatic change to honestly bring down oil prices. I mean, fast enough to save Donald Trump's presidency, or fast enough to save the political stock of the Republican Party. But according to this, bro, we might just be cooked. This might be all around cooked.
You look 5 years out, we're still not down to the $60 that we had before the war. So that's the oil market telling you that we might not go back to normal until the 2030s. And so $3 gas that was made with $60 oil might not be possible for about, 6 or 7 years, according to the oil market. Now that could change, but at present, that's the bet that it's placing. Strait of Hormuz needs to reopen. All of those tankers that are in the Strait of Hormuz need to go out. Empty tankers need to come in. They need to start to refill and then get that oil to their destination. Then all of that empty production, right? Because all of the Middle Eastern producers shut down their production because there was literally no place to put any of that oil. That needs to come back online. And that isn't just like flipping a light switch. That could take weeks and weeks and weeks just to start getting production back online.
So in a lot of ways, what we've been doing is looking at this phenomenon of up like a rocket, down like a feather in its abstract, how it's happened historically. But this time around, it might be totally different, or the feather might be floating a lot longer.
That's right. I mean, it's a 7-year feather, perhaps, to come back down.
Son of a bitch. Excuse my language, but ain't no way. I don't even want to believe that. But the way they explained it, the way they graphed it, the way they mathed it out, it just makes sense, but I don't want to believe it. It's like, damn it, I wish the math wasn't mathing right now. Like, that is crazy to say, but I really truly wish the math was not mathing right now, guys. I really wish I could disagree with what that man was saying, but everything he's saying was facts. And that's just a sad reality of what we're doing today. That's why I was so against this war. Because even I underestimated how much damage this was going to do to gas prices. I underestimated this. And I was telling you guys it's going to take like a couple years. They're saying to 2033, bro. Like, and I'm looking at it now and I'm like, oh my God, he's right. He's actually right. We low-key already cooked ourselves. Trump has already cooked gas prices already. There is nothing that can be done until 2030, or unless we can make the boats faster, unless we can somehow add more oil supply to the global market or something that can just put it on the move immediately, unless we're ready to do something like outstanding, like astonishing to catch us up, then we're kind of cooked. All right, let's get into Cuba. Because Cuba may take $100 million in U.S. aid as U.S. fueled crisis deepens. Yeah, I know it is our fault why they're going through this. But let's move on to Cuba and let's see what's going on there.
Havana in Cuba, an island under intensifying pressure and possibly approaching.
Hey, shout out Jed. He's like, I wish I went to the Leering Center so this didn't make sense. You know what? I'm pretty sure we all wish we was a bit less educated right now. Like, we all wish that we didn't go through elementary school right now. I was like, you know what? I wish I was a dumbass. You ever had one of those moments where you just sat to yourself and you was like, you know what? I wish I was less intelligent. I kind of wish this stuff did go over my head. I really do sometimes.
Its breaking point as global crises compete for Washington's attention. A U.S. State Department official says the fuel-starved island appears willing to accept a $100 million aid package. A previously reported part of the deal had been that Havana carry out what the State Department called meaningful reforms to its government. And this comes after an extraordinary meeting between CIA Director John Ratcliffe and high-level Cuban officials in Havana, as you can see there, including the Minister of the Interior. Their discussions apparently mostly centered on military and intelligence issues. All these developments are happening during rare public protests in Havana amid a series of island-wide blackouts, as we brought you that to your attention yesterday. Some of these
Yeah, and here's the thing, though. Like I said, what we're hoping is that the people of Cuba blame their government, but I mean, they kind of know that it's us doing this to them. We're the ones doing the blockade of energy. We're the ones who took away their oil from whatchamacallit, Venezuela, and we stopped the oil. Well, we tried to stop the oil coming in from Russia. So we've been shown nothing but constant aggression towards the people of Cuba. And I know what you're saying, but Seth, look, we're trying to go after their leadership. Yeah, but going after the leadership, we've pretty much brought more pain to the people than to their leadership. That's just the facts there.
Count, by the way, have lasted up to 22 hours a day. And it is a desperate situation that is expected to get worse. Cuba says it has completely run out of diesel fuel and oil under a U.S. blockade. Let's get more on all these strands. Patrick Ottman joins me from Havana. Jennifer Hansler is in Washington. Patrick, good to see you. Let me start with you. And first of all, this visit by the CIA director, just give us a sense of what the message was there and how it was received in Havana.
Well, it's just striking that the same agency that, for years tried to kill Fidel Castro with exploding cigars and poison dive suits and other ridiculous assassination plots arrived in Cuba yesterday in a big U.S. government plane that said the U.S. government on the side, hardly James Bond material here, and sat down with his counterparts in Cuban intelligence and really laid out to them how the U.S. government, the Trump administration, feels that Cuba is providing aid to the United States enemies, providing areas to operate Chinese and Russian spy bases, is essentially involved in intelligence operations against the U.S. and is working against U.S. purposes, and how this kind of activity needs to end. And if they don't get with the Trump administration's demands, that there will be consequences. And so I'm sure it was a very stark meeting. The Cuban side is saying, well, they laid out how Cuba is not a threat to the United States, but I think we're well past that. The Trump administration has made up its mind. They're giving Cuba perhaps a final chance, in their words, to change its ways or face.
Yeah, and user brought up a really good point that a lot of people are overlooking. It's going to be the state of it's going to be the state of the American people that's going to decide the midterm and further elections when it comes to affordability. But thanks to this whole crisis, bro, affordability is going to be the main thing talked about. If you're not talking about affordability, then we're not trying to hear you talk. That's going to be the top topic going into the 2028 political presidential election. Sorry, but yeah, the 2028 presidential election. That's going to be the main topic, is going to be affordability and how that can be fixed. And I'm sorry, but if the Republicans still want to talk about our next war with whatever Muslim country, which they're saying is going to be Turkey, they're cooked. And if Democrats are just going to sit there and say, but, oh, big bad Trump, even though he won't be running in 2028, then they're cooked. But somebody got to speak on this cost of living. Because I do hate how, like I said, people in MAGA sit here and say that our criticism of the war is what's going to win the Dems the midterms. No, bro, it's the lack of focus on affordability is what's going to win the Dems the midterms. The fact that you guys don't want to address that, instead you want to get mad at people in your own camp, is really what's going to win them the midterms.
Perhaps more economic sanctions or even tougher measures. Of course, President Donald Trump has threatened to take military action against the Cuban government, and that is something they take very seriously at this moment, considering how badly the oil blockade has already impacted their economy.
And we'll talk about the humanitarian side in just a moment. Let me just go to Jen, because, Jen, Patrick and I were talking yesterday about the possibility, of course, of this offer of $100 million that we're hearing now that the island appears willing to accept. Do we have a sense from this meeting, the CIA, what you are hearing as well, on what kind of reforms they're likely to see, right? They want to see, and how quickly?
Well, Issa, in addition to those security reforms that Patrick laid out that came up in that meeting with the CIA director yesterday, they are also pushing what they describe as economic reforms on the island, essentially opening it up to private investment. This was something that was a key focus of a different visit by U.S. officials last month to the island, where they met with senior Cuban officials. And they were saying they needed to make these economic reforms in addition to those security reforms in the near term, or else they would continue to face a catastrophic situation. Now, it is clear here that these economic restrictions are going to remain in place unless these alleged reforms are taken by the Cuban government. However, the State Department says that they are willing to offer this $100 million in humanitarian aid only if it is given through the Catholic Church or independent organizations on the ground. They say that this is the key string that is attached to this offer, that it has to be distributed through these independent organizations. Now, a senior State Department official said that they have been in touch. They have reached out to the Cuban government through what they describe as a senior channel between the State Department and senior leadership in Havana about this aid. Cuban officials have indicated that they would be willing to accept it if there weren't conditions on it. However, it is clear here that the administration is trying to push this message that if the suffering continues, it is not on the U.S., that it is on the Cuban government. So they are trying to inject further anger among that population on the ground. That
which is not going to work because we're saying it out loud that we're the ones doing this. And like I said, like we want them to blame their government, but we're the ones invoking the sanctions and all this crazy stuff. Even when the Cuban government was trying to work with us, the people are going to end up blaming us. And it doesn't really matter, no, because we can also take Cuba out the same way we taking out Venezuela. But let's be real, sitting here trying to act like we're putting the people against the government, not really. We're just putting the people more against us. And they're blaming us for these blackouts. Why? Because, well, we're the ones blockading fuel. We're the ones hitting them with the crazy sanctions. Like, it's not their government, it's us at the end of the day, because their government won't bend the knee to us. And I mean, let's be real. That's only going to put the people more on their side than anything.
Is suffering these catastrophic humanitarian situation there, Issa.
Yeah, and we've seen this anger on.
I mean, let's be real though. Like, guys, you rather fight and die with your government than bow to a foreign power. Like, what makes you think that other people don't feel the same?
The streets in the last several days. Our Patrick Hopman has been showing us that, of course, people taking to the streets very visibly, which is something that's very rare. Patrick, let me go back to you. Add this element that we were just talking about there, how rare it is to see these protests. And then these reports that are circulating across US media that the US is making moves to indict Raul Castro, who, of course, the brother of Fidel Castro. I want to play a short clip from Representative Jimenez, who told CNN this. Have a listen.
Yeah, I'm hearing those rumors too. That there is a press conference on the 20th of May, which is Cuban Independence Day. That